So Kev, to start off with, after having time to reflect on Saturday's defeat at Northampton, what are your and the coaching team's reflections?
Obviously disappointed because the overall game we play quite well, and in patches we need to score goals when we're playing well and finish teams off. And they sort of hung on in there. Second half we had a couple of chances, didn't take him. Final third entries and final decisions sort of let us down a little bit. But like I say, we need to take those chances to win games, and it puts you on a knife edge for the game. And they score, their crowd get up, and then they obviously get the winner.
I guess I said, taking the lead early is great, but then once you're on top, you have to kind of capitalise on that.
Yeah, you do. We had moments in the game where you're looking and going, I hope this is going to be our day, because we had chances, we had really good moments in the game, and we just didn't pick out the right pass or the right decision in that final third.
Joe's obviously a young keeper who's learning every game in his first loan spell in the Football League. I guess he's to have a lot to take from that game as well.
Yeah, I thought first half, his distribution is as good as I've seen in the league football, in this league by a mile, and probably even in the Champ and some of the Premier League. His distribution was one thing that myself and Sam Barrell went and watched him in the summer, in the Premier League Cup final and the international one, and he's got a real personality about him. He goes about his business. He's a great lad to work with, and he was disappointed for the first goal. He's sort of come. I've told him just to be positive and don't be afraid of making mistakes. He's come, realised he wasn't going to get there. Also thought that the ball was not going to come into the box, and he thought he could end up handballing it. Again, he's 20 years of age. Probably in 3 years' time, he's probably going to come through and take everything with him and hope that the linesman doesn't give a foul. So it's a learning curve, but he's done great since he's been here.
It was a great reaction from his teammates and him as well after that moment, to kind of regroup and just get going again.
Yeah, I think that's really important because, he's still learning his trade. I know he's at a Premier League club, but he's still learning his trade and playing league football for the first time over a long spell. And he will get better. I've got no doubt about that. I've hung my hat on him to bring him in, and I've been really pleased with him.
And how's he settled in, in training and everything with the great group of goalkeepers we've already got?
Yeah, really good. He's another level up from Veal, as in his feet. So the head tennis is a lot harder. But he's settled in with the group. Keepers are a strange bunch anyway. They're all after one position, but they train together really well, and the banter and the humour and everything's there every day.
And that early goal we scored was from a great set piece delivery from Reece Cole as well. We seem to be very threatening from set pieces this year.
Yeah, Perks and Al have really worked on that. We do a lot of it in training. We should score goals really with the delivery we've got, with Reece and Ed. So we should get opportunities, and obviously with Tristan, he's been a real threat in both boxes. I thought he defended really well. He got his head on a lot of balls on Saturday, and his timing for the run and the header was a great finish.
What would you say, are the key learning points that we can take from that game moving forward?
Take our chances and be more clinical, because it puts pressure on the defence and the sixes. But if we don't take a second goal, if we score a second goal, the game's over. We can kill the game. The atmosphere of the crowd sort of dulls, and their heads drop. And we've done that quite a few times last year as well, where we were on top in games and we couldn't kill teams off, and we ended up hanging on. So we had 60% possession of the ball, and we just need to be more ruthless. And that's not just the strikers; that's all over the park. We had opportunities from wing backs, sixes, tens. So we've all had chances in the game to score. So we just need to be a little bit more ruthless.
And I guess falling to a defeat like that early in the season gives you a lot of time to iron out these faults, with such a long season ahead. We're always going to keep striving for improvement, and every day we train to try and get a little bit more success and improve a little bit more. So it would have been nice to pick something up from the game, because I think we deserved at least a point from the game. But we move on. A huge game against Peterborough on Saturday, which we'll certainly be looking forward to. I should say, big challenge coming up on Saturday.
won their last game 4-1, I think, and will come to us in really high confidence.
Yeah, another team as well that like to keep the ball. You know, their percentage of possession is really high. So it'll be a good game, and obviously Archie coming back, it'll be nice for him. But it's a game that we need to get something out of, and we have the capabilities of beating any team in this league, I have no doubt. And we've just got to make sure that everything comes together on the day.
We showed that last season as well, beating them at our place 2-1 as well on that Tuesday night.
Yeah, I mean, and this squad's far better than it was last year. No disrespect to the squad last year. We have got a lot of power and a lot of strength in this team and characters. You know, Josh McGuinness has come in, who's a real character at the club, and he doesn't settle for second best, and that's going to rub off on all the other players.
You mentioned Archie there, but we will have him, Joel Randall and Jack Sparks returning to St James Park. So people who are quite familiar with, you know, what it's like to play at the stadium as well.
Yeah, obviously, you know, I don't really know Joe Randall so much, but Sparksy and Archie. So you know, they did well for the club. They came through the academy, so I'm sure they'll get a really good reception. But we, as players and coaching staff, have got to make it as difficult as we can for Peterborough.
And the whole of St James Park was in fantastic voice for our first game of the season back against Rotherham. I guess, you know, what we're asking for is more of the same, because it really does make a difference to the players.
It makes a huge difference. If we can get the big bank singing and chanting and the rest of the stadium bouncing, it gives, you know, some of the players like John Lee that hasn't experienced that too often in league football, it gives them almost a little lift. And John Lee doesn't need to be any bigger and stronger than he is, but if it does help, then fantastic. So yeah, we need the crowd. We need St James's rocking, and hopefully we can make this a little fortress again.